So, do you know how your Netflix loads in like 2 seconds? Or how you can video call someone in Tokyo from your couch in real time? Or how basically everything you do online, every search, every reel just somehow works? There is a reason behind all of that. The internet doesn't just run on magic. It runs on glass. Fiber optic cables carry almost every message, every video, every search across the planet at a speed of light. And someone just made the biggest piece of those cables that the world has ever seen. Let me show you what that actually means. Before we get to the record, let me introduce you to something you've probably never heard of, because honestly, most people haven't. And that's okay, that's why I'm here. It's called an optical fiber preform. And I know that feels like something you'd fall asleep reading about it. Just bear with me for a second and think of it like this. Do you know when you were a kid and you take a piece of Play-Doh and roll it into a thick cylinder, then stretch it out into a long thin snake? Same shape, but just way longer and thinner. That's basically what's happened with fiber optic cable. Except instead of Play-Doh, we have ultra pure glass. And instead of your hand doing the stretching, it's a furnace running at around 2000 degrees Celsius. And instead of little snake, you got a strand of glass so thin that is basically thinner than a human's hair. And that can carry the equivalent of millions of phone calls at the same time using nothing but light. So the preform is the starting block, the thick glass cylinder, the raw and the undrawn version that get fed into that furnace and pulled into fiber. It's essentially a giant glass crayon that basically no one has drawn with it yet. Never see one, nobody talk about it, but without it, none of the fiber that runs modern internet exists. So FiberHome International has just unveiled something, a preform that is 300mm wide and 3.5 meters long, which is way taller and bigger than a large adult human being. And this is not a small thing. This is a substantial cylinder of incredibly pure glass, or in our case, silicon dioxide. And here are the numbers that I keep coming back to. From one single one of these, one preform, you can draw out up to 20,000 kilometers of fiber. 20,000 kilometers. For context, the circumference of Earth is about 40,000 kilometers. Just two of these preform are long enough to circle the entire Earth. That is not a marketing line, it is just math. The largest optical fiber preform ever manufactured. And now you might be thinking, okay, it's big glass. Well, how hard can it be? Actually, it's pretty hard. So here is the thing about making a preform. It's not like casting a bigger mold. The glass has to be almost impossibly pure. Actually, you have to achieve 99.99999 etc. level of purity, which is not easy, because any tiny flaw in that preform gets stretched out and amplified across thousands of kilometers of fiber. So any tiny bubble gonna defect the final product. So scaling up the size, it means scaling up every aspect of that precision. The heat distribution, the tension, the geometry. It took specialized equipment and years of research to get here. And the part that makes this more interesting, this was done entirely in-house. So let me tell you why I actually find this interesting. AI needs data centers and data centers need fiber. So wherever there is data, there is fiber. The quality and quantity of fiber determine how fast we can scale this up. A bigger preform means more fiber from a single manufacturing run, which means lower cost per kilometer, meaning operators can deploy more networks for the same budget. And this is where it hits your actual life. You can get faster and cheaper internet. The next time your video buffers, just remember, somewhere between you and that server is one piece of fiber that is thinner than your hair, carrying information at nearly the speed of light, that it started its life from a preform of pure glass, sitting in a very hot furnace. And now the biggest one of them has just been built. If you find this interesting, the subscribe button is there. We cover these kind of stuff all the time, the technology and infrastructure that runs the world. I'll see you in the next one.